to the Reiki Journey channel. So the channel where we talk all about things to do with Reiki, mindfulness, spirituality, healing, energy healing, meditation, all of these wonderful, wonderful tools that we can use to reduce anxiety and improve our mental health, one person at a time. So if you're just coming across this channel, if you're new to the channel and you've never been here before, and that sort of stuff that I've just mentioned there sparks your curiosity and sparks your interest, then please do hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and stick around, for more content that I do make and churn out every week. A couple of times a week I tend to have videos go out, Mondays and Fridays usually. I have a video going out tonight actually, which is a podcast with Brenda Bauer, who's been on the channel before, and is in, where is she? I can't remember where she lives now. Germany, Holland, somewhere around there. And we talked about kind of like midlife crisis and why a lot of people go through a midlife crisis, especially around about a certain age. So we talked a lot about that, a lot about kind of like the awakening process, the spiritual process, your healing process, what we kind of like go through on that. So that's coming out tonight, and that's out at about, I think it's 8 p.m. UK time that comes out. Ranjana Gupta, hi, I came across your channel recently, loving your energy. Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your energy here as well, and commenting and introducing yourself. It's lovely to meet you through this means of whatever we call it, communication, technology. I don't know what we would call it, but thank you for being here, and thank you for saying something in the chat box. It's wonderful, 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 and I hope you're well. Where are you from? Whereabouts are you from? And what draws you to the channel? And is there anything on this channel that you enjoy more of? And would you like to see more of it? And if so, I will do more of that kind of content. I have got a couple of videos in the pipeline that I need to make for a couple of channel members that want some Qigong videos doing. So I'm going to be doing some of them again. I do have some Qigong videos on the channel already, but I'm going to do some more recent ones. Well, newer ones anyway, more up-to-date ones. So yeah. But yeah, thank you. It's lovely to connect. It always is, and that's another reason why I love coming on these lives, just to meet new people, and connect with whoever comes across this channel, whoever wants to chat, whoever wants to maybe delve into the wonderful realms of spirituality and healing and Reiki and all that wonderful stuff that we kind of like discover. We discover a lot of it through our own, I suppose, our own individual journeys, and usually through, for me anyway, usually through some level of self-discomfort, or a level of self-awareness that needs to come about, and that's how kind of like my journey started for me, and put me on this wonderful path of healing and spirituality and Reiki and meditation. I'm from India and a Reiki practitioner. Excellent. Love to learn new perspectives of energy healing. Fab. Wonderful. It's great to meet and connect to other Reiki practitioners. How long have you been practicing for? I just love talking to different practitioners and how long they've been practicing for, if they use any specific techniques or anything that they resonate with that maybe some people don't resonate with, and vice versa. And it's, Reiki is such an individual journey. Everyone can take something from it and then make it their own. It doesn't have to be like via a textbook. It doesn't have to be a specific way. You can blend it and mold it to how you feel it works best for you. really. And that's kind of like something that I say in a lot of the courses that I hold when I'm teaching Reiki. You know, it's like, make it your own. Don't feel that you have to be sort of constrained by this belief or by the way that I do something. You know, make it your own and find your own way of using it and using the energy and what you feel from it as well. Angela, hello. Hello, my beauty. How are you, my darling? Lovely to have you here. But I'm doing very well, thank you for asking. I hope you are too. How's your day been? Because I know over in Sydney now it'll be your night time. I came on a live the other morning, you know, and there was hardly anybody on. It was so quiet. Wasn't yesterday, it might have been the day before. And I went live twice in one day because I thought the morning was so quiet, there was hardly anybody on. There was like a few people here and there, but not really a lot of interaction, not a lot of conversation. So I thought, you know what, I'll go on later and I'll go on at 7 p.m, which is when I kind of like used to go on more often at that time. And I thought, I'll connect to some of the viewers that I used to talk to then. But again, it was really, really quiet. So I don't know what was going on that day. I think everyone just decided to do something else other than watch YouTube, which is good. We're not asking for people to be fixated on YouTube. That's good. My day has been really good. Day off today. I spent Wednesday with my mum. Oh, nice. Good. I'm glad you've had a good day. You spend Wednesdays with your mum. That's nice. Leila, you're a painter. Well, I do paint. So yeah, I suppose that classes me as a painter. But yeah, I've always loved art. Absolutely loved art. And loved art at school. I just love being creative. I love making things, and even like when I've like worked in different jobs and whatever, I've always loved the actual, like the doing part of things. You know how like some people learn from just watching somebody do something or reading about it with the analytical brain. I'm very much the other side, where I'd rather get my hands dirty and rather do something and learn that way. I was a preschool teacher for over 10 years and loved it. Art. May I have a look at the artwork in the back? Which pieces would you like to have a look at? Should we give you a walk around, eh? Let's give you a walk around the room. Get my steps in. Right, so where are we? We've got some artwork at the back. So we've got these two pieces. So we've got that one, which is the Native American, and the two wolves. We've got, so the Native American and the two wolves, they're some of my, the spirit animal and one of my Native American guides. We've got the sunflower. Let me know which one you like. Over in this corner, we've got the Buddha with like just a made-up background scene behind it. We've got that one, that's more like channeled art really. It's just something I just felt compelled to do, so I just went with it. And then we've got that one up there, which I did like years and years and years and years ago, which is my attempt at a Bob Ross. Yeah, and then we've got these ones over here. So you got these sort of like meditation-y, lotus flower type chakra paintings. I did a lot of these during lockdown, during COVID. Really got heavily into my art, so I did them, and I also did two this sort of style for people that liked them, and I sold them. So yeah, they were quite popular. And then we've got guitar-y bits. So I do play guitar as well. So I like guitars. So this is, again, I did these a long time ago, years ago. We've got mudras and chakras. That still needs to get hung up somewhere. What else have we got? We've got that one. So we've got that one's called the mirror. And then we've got another Buddha sat under the tree. We've got the triplicate piece there, which is like Earth, the body, and then the universe. And then we've got this piece which I was on with before, which you might have seen me start in the lives, which still needs work doing to it. And we've got that one, which is a wave crashing against a rock, which I've cunningly called the crash. And then we've got that one down there, which is my last dog, Rooney, or our last dog, Rooney. And then we're on with another one over here, which I'm not gonna put it on camera because sometimes the person I'm painting it for does pop on, and I don't want them to see it. So it's gonna be a surprise for them. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the little tour, little show around my my little Zen den, my little creative healing space. Yeah, I quite like the guitar as well. Like I say, I did that one a long time ago, and I thought I found a picture. It was just copied off a picture, and it was a picture of this guitar, and I think it was off like a calendar or something like that. I used to always save calendars from the previous year because I used to think, oh, these are really lovely paintings. I'll be able to like photographs. I'll be able to copy them and do like a nice painting from them. I never seemed to get round it. So then halfway through the next year, they end up going in the bin anyway because I never get round to painting them. But that one was from a calendar for guitars. And yeah, I thought, oh, you know what? I'll do one, but I'll do it as like a triplicate, and I'll split it into like three pieces, which would be quite an interesting way of sort of reproducing it. Do you like Buddhism? I do like Buddhism. I'm not like, I wouldn't say I was kind of like, I suppose I am a practicing Buddhist in a way, but I don't class myself as anything really. But I just follow a lot of different belief structures. But a lot of the beliefs come from like Reiki, obviously as a practitioner, and which is Buddhist. So it's a Zen Buddhist practice, or a Shinto. It's also Shinto Buddhism as well. So but yeah, I do like a lot of the belief structures and the belief systems that they have in Buddhism. I have Buddhas in my unit. Where's that, Angela? inside your lounge room. I love Buddhas. They relax you and give you peace. Oh, right, I'm with you. I'm curious, does Buddhism conflict with God in Europe, in America? I don't think it like sort of overly conflicts as such, but it's all to do with belief systems, isn't it? It's all to do with your belief structure. And I know like a lot of religions are quite strict and quite rigid with what you can believe, and what you can follow, and what you can do within your practice. So that's where kind of like I kind of like differ. I don't follow a religion. I don't follow one set of rules. And I agree with a lot of different rules that span across many religions. But to be honest with you, the belief systems and the religions, they're all saying the same thing. They're all telling us to just love each other and care for each other. But obviously, the belief system of Buddhism is, it's all very closely linked because, from if you look at Christianity, Jesus died to save humanity in the story of the Bible, whereas in the story of Buddhism and the Buddha, enlightenment or that feeling of peace is found through suffering. So it's through the suffering. So Jesus suffered to bring us peace, to bring us, to bring us enlightenment, to bring us life, to bring us that energy. So it's all kind of like the same thing. If you look a little bit deeper below the surface of the actual meaning of why things happen, and look like all the different festivals, they all happen around about the same dates. Like Easter and Christmas and whatever. So you got all these different things that happen throughout the year, big sort of like events, religious events. They all take place, and then also the characters in like sort of like the different religions. The angel Gabriel has got different names throughout the different texts. So they're all the same messages basically, and they're all the same people, and they're all the same individuals. But all that's been happened with it is it's been kind of like packaged and patented in a way for a set of belief structures for people to follow, and don't stray away from that. Whereas spirituality and being spiritual is connecting to the energy within and following your God source energy of what you believe is true. So everyone's belief is going to be different, but also the truth of what people are looking for is always going to be the same. It's always going to be that energetic response from within. The only reason why it becomes different is because of the way people are conditioned to think, the way they emotionally react, the attachment they place on certain beliefs. So it's kind of like it's a tricky subject to try and cover, because you don't want to offend people from your beliefs, but also you kind of like you also want to uphold what you believe as well, peace and compassion, getting along, and that's it. You don't really need to make it bigger than what it is. But yeah, there is a few things that that people will say, oh well, no, that's got nothing to do with that, and that's got nothing to do with that, and yada yada yada, and because people have their own opinions, and that's fine. People have got their own beliefs, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having your own belief and your own opinion, and I think that's the reason why there's so much division between people, is because it's been kind of like very cleverly conditioned into us to not allow ourselves to have an opinion, or to have a voice, or for someone to feel like offended because you don't believe what they believe. Just like, well, so what? You can still get along. You can still be friends with people just because you don't believe what they believe, or you don't follow a set of rules that they want to follow. That is their life. That's their calling. They have their free will to do that. And that's kind of like that's the clinch factor for a lot of people is the feel that the need to be so. What's the word to use? The need to have this sort of safety thing that they can follow rather than just being their unique self. Rick Knight? Who you calling a whore? Well, I never. You come on here, you're talking about peace and love and compassion. I'm hoping it's a misspelling. What do I think of Joe Dispenza's work? I love Joe Dispenza. Again with Joe Dispenza, a lot of his stuff is saying the same thing. It's all giving the same messages. I'm currently reading his book. I say currently reading it. It's taken a while to get into it. But I'm currently reading his book, Becoming Supernatural, which is very, very interesting when you look at the emotional, the emotional stuff that we hold on to that we don't even realize that we're carrying. So I talk about that a lot as well. The emotional body that we kind of like forget about and we overlook. And then you get to sort of like 50s, 60s, whatever, and you've got like all these different things that are going on. And it's all come from like stuff that you've suppressed and you've held on to, your emotional stuff that hasn't been dealt with. It hasn't been sort of released and observed and managed. It's just been kind of like pushed down. And again, because probably at a time because society says that's the best thing you should do. Just don't talk about it. Keep quiet. Especially with men. Men are terrible for it. They're not wanting to express their emotions or how they're feeling or whatever. But no, I think he does some really good stuff, and I do love listening to his seminars and his talks and stuff. And especially with the different lines of work that he is in, so he puts a lot of the science to the spiritual stuff, which is really good because it opens people's eyes a little bit. When you get a lot of people that just say, oh, it's just a load of hogwash, or it's all woo-woo, but when you start putting science to it, it makes people think, okay, so that there is something more to it. And then when people like think like, oh well, okay, that's why that's happening. So it gives it a little bit more credence, and it's not something that you just sort of just say, it's just a load of tosh or whatever. Been following for quite some time now. It's powerful stuff. It is really powerful stuff. I do followed some of his meditations before on YouTube, and they've been really good. They've been really, really powerful. There's a few as well that there's a few of his meditations I can't quite get into I don't know why. They just don't resonate with me. I just find them. There's a couple that I've listened to that I just found quite annoying. Sorry, Joe. But for me, there was too much talking in them. But everybody's different. Everybody's got their own way to meditate, and yeah, whatever works for you works for you. Yeah, Bruce Lipton as well. I like a lot of his stuff. So there's Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza. It was Greg Braden actually that did the forward in Becoming Supernatural. So yeah, but they're all in the field of science, and they're uncovering all this stuff for us to finally say, it does mean something. It's not a load of hogwash. There is something to this. There is something more that we need to look into. And that's the whole point of science. The whole point of science is to question everything, not just to go, oh, well, that's what it is, and just believe it. We've seen enough of that with the likes of, Microsoft bloke. I'm not going to use his name because you know what happens. But everybody follows these philanthropists because they have all this stuff behind them, but they haven't got a clue what they're talking about. They're just following a script. It's all scripted. Everything is scripted. Yes, I completely agree on just Joe Dispenza's meditations. They don't completely resonate with me either. Yes, annoying is a good description. Archie Nickel, are you gay? Yes, I am gay. What's the rainbow flags? They are peace flags. So they are Buddhist peace flags. So the Quakers use them as well. They have the same flags. Obviously, there's the gay LGBT flags as well, but that's not why I have them up. It's not because I am gay. I just put them up because they are peace flags. Ian, my brother, is gay. All right, okay. Everything is scripted, so predestination. I'm guessing you mean in sort of like our own destination, our own journey of what we're on. So that comes down to the debate as well of two things. So we've got people believe in a fate, and people believe in a destiny. So I don't believe in a fate, but I do believe in a destiny. So that's a fate for me always sounds a bit like kind of like fatal, final, an ending kind of thing, whereas a destiny is a journey. But when we're talking about kind of like the 3D construct of the earth, like everything that we've been kind of like programmed and conditioned to be in, that is all scripted. But that's not to do with your kind of like spiritual journey as such, even though you are here on this earth realm to go through all this stuff that we're currently going through on an awakening ascension journey. So yes, on one aspect, you've agreed to be here at this time, to live this life on this earth, to follow the journey of your soul that your soul needs to learn from. But the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, which isn't connected really to soul, it's connected to a darker agenda, which is more about manipulation and control. So there's kind of like there's two parallels, and that's why we see. So when we look at sort of like the spiritual community, which often talk about vibration, so they'll talk about like the 3D, the earth realm, where we are now, the stuff that we go through, the ego, the patterns, the attachment, the resistance. You've got the 3D. You've got your 4D, where you're starting to step more into heart activation and alignment and compassion and love, which is where people are starting to get into now, but there's also some resistance to that as well because of the three-dimensional stuff that's going on at the same time. So it all runs alongside each other. And then people talk about the fifth dimension, which is the highest dimension you can go in on Earth, which is where like you start to really ascend and awaken to this higher vibrational energy that is all around us. And all the time, the three-dimensional stuff is trying to keep that vibration down. It's trying to keep you anchored into the 3D matrix stuff. So that's kind of like what's happening vibrationally. But all the while, it's interesting because I've been watching this stuff for like the last 15, 20 years. All the while, it's always what you'll see is there'll be a push with the agenda, with the system, and then there'll be a raise, and then there'll be a raise, then there'll be another push, then there'll be a push, then there'll be a raise, and it's all sort of like, it's kind of like it's vibrating together. So as we push and work on ourselves individually with this energy, then there has to be a push from the three-dimensional to not allow it to raise too high. But at the minute, like, there's so many people that are kind of like waking up and becoming aware of a bigger thing that's going on, rather than just the earth stuff. That's why we're seeing a lot more confusion and a lot more systems and control systems breaking down, because it just won't work in that frequency anymore. It just won't be able to maintain itself. And that's why we're seeing various systems and things collapsing, and people just becoming more aware and open, that the fact that what we've been led to believe for all these years on the earth realm is not what it is, and so much stuff has been kind of like kept hidden away from us. So there'll be a lot of people out there that'll be thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? And then there'll be a lot of people out there as well that'll be going, oh, right, okay, well, yeah, I've been aware of like this sort of stuff, and I'm starting to feel like these little shifts and these little changes, and I've got all these different emotions coming up, and it's really making me trigger, and I'm really having to look at the way I've been sort of behaving or reacting or connecting to maybe like loved ones or family, or there's been all this different stuff that's been coming up for you, and that's part of it. That's part of your awakening. You kind of like connecting on a more soul level, rather than this kind of like fixated three-dimensional way of thinking and being. I kind of think LGBTQ has co-opted a lot of the good work done for gay folks, especially the trans stuff. It's incredibly toxic and divisive. Yeah, I don't go into all that sort of stuff really to do with. I just want to be me and just live in peace and not have all this sort of like stuff just pushed. You just want to be in peace, just left alone to live a life that we want to just be happy with. Essentially, it's a physical expression of the need for people to express different traits in its current material obsessed world, resulting in a lot of confusion and horrendous body dysmorphia. Shady, hello. And Angela's laughing again. She's always laughing, is our Angela. Bless you. you just want to be you. That's why I'm laughing, because it's true. Well, yeah, I mean, don't we all? We all want to be like left alone to just enjoy what time we've got on this mortal coil, in this life, in this identity of what we call Ian and Angela and Bob and Fred and Rick and all these different identities that we've got. All the trans stuff is complex. It's a complex topic. Yeah. I've never really kind of like got it really, but if just be who you want to be. There's no need to sort of like react or whatever. It's just people just want to be whoever they are. I do think this is going to be a little bit controversial, but I do think there is a level of kind of like, for a lot of people, there's quite a lot of healing that they need to go through for a lot of people. And the thing is as well, it's because of the world that we're in, and a lot of the different industries, the food, the stuff that we drink in, the stuff that we eat, it's creating imbalance, hormonally, emotionally. The different diets, the different fad diets that keep coming in and going out, because then they get found that they're quite unhealthy. There's so much stuff that the physical body's being kind of like exposed to try and deal with and manage, but it's one of them things that's kind of like, you can't really point a finger at one thing, because there's so much stuff. But it's the same for all of us, it's not just that, it's the same for all of us as well. We're all exposed to something on some level that we think is okay. Like, I did a video ages ago about when I stopped eating bread, and I try not to eat a lot of bread now, but as soon as I stopped eating bread, there was huge changes in me, kind of not just physically with the weight loss and what have you, but also there's a lot of like deep down hidden emotions that were being released through not eating bread anymore. It was really, really weird how all this stuff was coming up. But again, bread, stuff that we consume, the stuff that we eat, is all to do with that digestion. And your emotions as well. You have to digest your emotions. You have to understand your emotions and feel your emotions. And if you don't digest them, that's why they become stuck in the body. Sonia, hello. I'm doing well, thank you, Sonia. Hope you're well. I was just thinking of you this morning. I thought you've been very quiet lately. I need to drop you a text and see how you're doing. Rick's reduced his bread massively as well. Good. Angela's eating less bread now. Ain't easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. I know it is quite tricky, because it's part of the conditioning that we've been led to believe that, I'll just grab a sandwich. It's just like, you'll just grab a sandwich because it's quick and it's easy. It's convenient. Rather than looking for something more wholesome or nutritious than 2 slices of chemicals with some flour. I I saw a video this morning actually on TikTok, and there was a girl that was talking about bread and how the UK, I think it's the UK government now, have allowed to add I want to give you half a story here because I can't even remember what it was that they were adding. but they're allowed to add this thing in, this chemical in, that's been known to cause tumor growth, cancers, this, that, the other. And it's been accepted to put into the food, but it's not been put out there for people to be aware of. It's just been put in, and it's a bit like the food industry in America. There's all this stuff over in the States that's now coming out that people are exposing and talking about, especially with the likes of Kennedy, what you call him, looking into the American food industry, all the medications, all the stuff that goes into that. Looking into a lot of that as well, but also people on the science level as well, and the nutrition level, are looking deeper into what's going into the food and what's being added into it, and why does that need to be in there. And if you think, like, if you go around a supermarket and you've got one aisle which is a health aisle, what's the rest of the supermarket then? It's junk. Or you go to the veg aisle and you've got all this stuff that's organic, but what's all the other stuff? Because it all used to be organic, it all used to be grown the same way, and it was grown wholesomely without the pesticides and all the stuff that's getting sprayed on it. And the likes of what I was saying earlier on about Mr. Microsoft there, that's given the go-ahead to spray all the fruit and veg with this carcinogenic chemical. But it's like where it's then what do you do? Like so then you think, right, okay, I'm going to start growing my own food. I'm going to get myself, like Sonia, she's got an allotment. I'm going to start growing my own food. Right, great. You're going to start growing your own food. And I had this conversation with a guy that when I used to work in Cafe Nero, and he said, "Oh, we've gone vegan." All right, okie dokie. And we're only eating organic vegan food. So, all right, okay. So how do you make it organic then? Oh well, it's specially grown. It's only grown in certain areas, and that they use the organic soil, and it's all looked after organically, and this, that, and the other. So what about all the stuff that's being sprayed in the skies then? Where's that ending up? It all has to come down somewhere, and it's going on your organic soil. So you're eating stuff that isn't organic. Technically, nothing is organic, because it's all been chemically controlled on some level. Yeah, they might not be spraying it with the pesticides and this and that and the other, but there is something somewhere. Even the water that you're spraying on the plant is filled with fluoride and chlorine and this and that, unless you want to get a filtration unit and filter all the stuff out to spray on your plants. Or even if you're just going to rely on the rain that comes from the clouds. The rain that comes from the clouds it's all cloud seeding. So the weather is being manipulated as well. So where do you go with it? Where do you start? It's really tricky. And I think the more you get locked into that as well, again, it creates fear. It creates the worry. So then you've got the stuff going in your body, you've got the emotional stuff going in your body, the fear, the worry, the doubt. Should I be eating this? Is it organic? So emotionally, chemically, mentally, you're affecting yourself physically. So then you think, well, what do you do for the best? Obviously, you don't want to eat all the processed food because that's totally toxic altogether. So then you got to do what's right for you. If you want to eat shit, then eat shit. If you don't want to eat shit, then look for alternatives. If you want to grow your own stuff and have an allotment and eat that way, then do that. But I think it's very easy, again, to get lost into the trap of worry and fear about what we're consuming, what we're eating. If we're mindful of it and we're aware of it, then we have that ammunition, we've got knowledge. And with that knowledge comes power, and it comes an awareness and a knowing that there's other ways of being able to deal with it. I mean, even if you think like, you know what, like AC's just said there, like make my own bread, and used seeded sourdough, but it's so hard to cut down. I know bread's so hard to cut down, it really is. Sourdough is a really, really great form of bread. It doesn't have as much of the crap in it, and it's a lot lighter. But even if like, so I've got like a bag of flour downstairs, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get some flour, I'm going to get some yeast, I'm going to make my own bread. That's what I'm going to do. Even though I don't eat that much of it, I'm going to make my own bread. But then you look at the flour, you look at what's in the flour, you're like, well, that never used to be in flour. That never used to be in flour. Why do they need that in flour? You like, especially if you look at all, like, you know, the packet mixes, sauce mixes, you look at all that stuff and you think E261, emulsifiers, maltodextrin, this, that, and the other. The list is endless, and it's like the processed, like the sliced meat, like where do you go? What do you do? It's just like it's endless. It's endless. But you can either live in the fear of it, or you can ration yourself to a little bit. Your body is extremely good at getting rid, at purging, at shifting. Anything that doesn't serve the body, your body will get rid of it. Yeah. Is that meat? Yeah. Well, there's one type of processed meat that I do get, the sliced meat, and I always look at the back to see what's in it. And there's one type in Lidl where I shop, and it's sliced topside, really thin slices topside. And I look at the back, and all it's got in it is beef, a little bit of water, a bit of salt, and pepper. That's it. So that's the one that I get. So it's got the main ingredients of what is going to go into that. Yeah, buy direct. Yeah, that's a really good suggestion. That, you know, like, because you get a lot of there's a lot of farm shops, you know, a lot of independent farm shops, a lot of places that are opening up to straight from farm to food, farm to fork. There's no middleman. There's no distribution. There's no, well, obviously there's distribution because they have to get it from the farm to the shop, but there's no sort of like mass, stick it in a mass wagon and ship it across the country or across the world. It's like people that eat avocados. I mean, okay, a lot of people like avocados. I like an avocado every now and again, but it gets harvested in South America. It gets shipped all around the world, to wherever. It gets packaged in, you know, so it'll harvest in South America. They send it to China to get packaged and put in plastic packaging or whatever, and then they ship it out back around the world again. So I watch Clarkson's Farm. Cheryl! I watched Clarkson's Farm, and he said on there, he said if you eat two avocados a year causes more environmental damage than owning a Volkswagen Golf, diesel Golf, for a year. So that just shows how much environmental damage 2 avocados cause. And that show is extremely, if you've never watched Clarkson's Farm on Amazon, watch it. There's so much information in that just makes you go, what the fuck? Like, it just opens your eyes, it really does. I love beef. I love beef. I eat an avocado per week. And you bloody love it, don't you, Angela, eh? I mean, even then, you know, if you want to go down the avenue of climate change, you know, this thing that we're getting like pushed upon us more and more and more, to reduce this and don't do that. You can't buy that. You can't move there. You can't go on holiday. Oh, you shouldn't eat that because of climate change, and da, 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 da. It just goes on and on and on and on with this whole agenda. But the whole agenda of climate change at the minute has gone very, very quiet here in the UK, because at the minute it's all about digital ID. But digital ID is obviously connected to climate change, because then they can control your activity of how far you're going to go, how far you can travel. That's why they want to put people in electrical vehicles, and so they can monitor where you're moving to, where you're traveling to. Or you've exceeded your travel limit this month. You can't travel now for 3 weeks, or this, that, and so everything. If it's allowed, I don't think it will happen. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it will go through. I truly, honestly believe, hand on heart, that I don't think it will happen. I think if anything like that gets pushed through, it's just going to go fucking insane. It really, really will. But then the other side of it is like, is that what they want? Do they want it to go insane and then can bring in more control measures? So this is what I mean by how it all works side by side. It all works simultaneously. No Name has just sent some lovely messages, which I had to review. But you're aware. Hide user from channel. There we go. Goodbye. So happy to see you're aware of this stuff. It warms my soul. I don't think you can not be aware of it. Like, for me, I mean, you just think, with all this stuff going on around the world, you just think, where the fuck have you had your head for the last, like, 10 years? Like, either up your arsehole or in the sand. Like, where have you been living? What have you been looking at? What have you been paying attention to? And have you actually been listening to your intuition? And yeah, is it switched on? Is it there? Yeah. Gillian, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Thanks for all the loves. I've just had some love hearts. How's Cheryl? How's my lovely Cheryl? Are you still here? Oh, tell me about it. Lots of people live under a rock, Angela says. Yeah, tell me about it. But you can't wake people up now. You cannot wake people up. If to be honest with you, it's snowballing anyway. So the more it happens, the more it evolves, the more people sort of like start switching on and lighting up and connecting to something that half the time they don't even know what they're connecting to. It's having an immediate effect on the next person, and the next person, and the next person. So it's just constantly evolving and moving. Cheryl's good. Do you like your emojis that I've sorted out for the members? I don't know why I have to create my own emojis, but it said, add your emoji here. And I thought there would be pre-programmed sort of thing, but no. So I had to make all my own. So I thought, well, you know what? Let's just make it something as simple and as easy as possible. So you got little smiley faces with hands, and eventually boots when you've been a member for long enough. Simple and fun. Yay! Universe Leb, L-E-B, what is your background? Background is that, I'm guessing? What is your background? Do you mean that's behind me? Or my personal background? So, what is my background? How far back do you want me to go? I love when you laugh and smile. I think sometimes that's all you can do. All you can do is just like laugh at the sheer ridiculousness of stuff at times. It's all you can do. Just like you, Ian, simple and fun. Thanks, Jill. There's always one, isn't there? Eh? There's always one that has to come in, poking the nose in. Did you like that last night on my TikTok, Jill? With that, I'll have to tell the people in here. Angel Messenger. Jeez. It is always you, you're right. So yesterday I made a video on TikTok and it was about, what was it about? It was about like, you get to a point, yeah, little man, yeah, that's what I got called. You get to a point on your kind of like spiritual healing, awakening journey, whatever you want to call it, where you just think, what's the point? What's the point? So I was kind of like trying to get into that, trying to explain that. And then somebody called Angel Messenger, which they ain't. It gave me this essay of just basically saying everything I'd said that was wrong, and that when they connect to their God, I don't feel it, I don't know what's going on, they can't feel me, and anything that's happened in my life is irrelevant and they don't give a damn. I'm like, wow, some angel you are. I'm just like, right, okie dokie, where do we go with this one? So I'm just like, right, so I just sat down with it, I took a few deep breaths, and I thought, right. So initially I did do just a video, just to, I just sort of did a written response to begin with, and then afterwards I thought, no, this warrants a video response. So my video response is basically like, they don't have a clue what they're talking about, they don't get what I'm talking about. So I was trying to explain more of what I was on about, and how kind of like they're still stuck in the ego and they're stuck in the mind. And then I got another comment back, which was just like, look, little man. I was just like, whoa, little man. I thought, oh, you know what, fuck off, block. I couldn't be done with it. Yeah, that's my spiritual response. Yeah, that's when they got really angry. I'm just like, you know what, just block them. Just like, Angel Messenger, wow. Yeah, they just, yeah, little man. The thing is as well with the video, when I started the video, I was kind of like, I said, oh, I've had this comment from Angel Messenger, and I sort of like give this sort of like smirky smile and this sort of air quotes, and then I was just like, here we go, right? But yeah, they didn't appreciate my honesty, so fair enough. But you can't kind of like, you can't, yeah, you just can't. You just can't. There's no point trying to push against something that doesn't want to get pushed against. You just let it go. So the best thing you can do is I just commented back just saying fair enough, and then just block them. So yeah, not worth the effort. Some people are open and some people are just can't. Not worth the effort. You can't please everyone, you're right. Gillian, I laugh so hard I know. Gillian actually messaged me and said, "Little man" in the, in the message. I was like, oh God. YF, hello, can I ask a personal question? Are you in a relationship? Yes, I am. Oh, I really enjoyed this chat today. It's been lovely having you all here. They can call me little lady. I'm only 5'3" after all. Oh, little lady. Taller than my mum. I think my mum's 5'1". She always says when I go around, am I shrinking or are you getting taller? So, well, I'm not growing anymore. I think you're shrinking. Oh, Angela's 5'1". Aww. Cuties. I hope you don't get offended by me saying that. I've worked with a few people in the past like that were quite short, and especially male like managers and what have you. They were like, like little dog syndrome, fiery. How's the painting? It's okay. It's okay. It's getting there. I don't want to show you anything as yet. I want to keep it as a until I'm like kind of like a bit happier with it. Because who would have known that a dog that colour would be so hard to get a colour match for? I thought it would be like easy peasy to get like that nice tan colour. It's a lovely colour. But no, it's been quite tricky. No, oh, my neighbour keeps telling me I'm short. She's only 1 inch taller than me. I shall leave you to your work, little man. See you tomorrow, Gillian, for your head massage. I'll try not to squeeze too hard with my little man hands. Oh, 12:20. Your partner is lucky to have you, Ian. Oh, thank you. I think we're lucky to have each other. Really, we keep each other on an even keel. Well, it's been absolutely lovely chatting with you guys again today, as always. Bit livelier than yesterday. Yesterday I was like just sat on my own pretty much most of the time, just painting away. Managed to get plenty done, but I like coming on and just chatting and you know, just hanging out with my subscribers and members and just chatting away and seeing how they're doing. Cheryl, I also put a post out on the community, like for members only, about trying to do maybe like a Zoom get together, and so I was just asking when is good for everybody, but nobody's kind of like responded. So I'm like, oh, but it'd be nice to just like have a natter with everybody, with all the members, and have a bit of a catch up and see if there's anything else that you want to get from the channel. You know, because when you're paying for something, I want to try and give you something more. I mean, I know I'm doing like content and what have you, but I need to get your Qigong videos done as well at some point. But yeah, if it resonates and if you feel like connecting at some point, you know, put a comment in that post on the community. Bye for now, YF. Hopefully see you soon. I hope you subscribed and you can catch me again. It would be nice, but my schedule is very inconsistent. Okay, that's fine. Night night, Angela. Sleep well. And you have a good sleep, and I will see you again soon. Do take care. Right, guys, so thank you for being here today. Thank you for making me laugh and giggle, and I hope you've enjoyed your little stint on the channel. It's always lovely to chat away and connect with subscribers and new people and what have you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in another video, another live soon. I've got a video coming out tonight at 8 p.m, which is another chat with Brenda Bauer, and we're talking about midlife crisis, awakening, spiritual awakening, the whole process. And it was a really, really good deep chat. It went on for an hour and 20 minutes. It went on for quite some time. So do check it out, have a look. And yeah, I'll catch you all again soon. So much love Cheryl, much love ACJ, YF, Angela, Sonia, Gillian, everybody else that's been on today on the live, and I'll see you again soon. Do take care. Toodaloo for now. Bye bye.